Hi, welcome back to Open Hand Farm. This past month, I did the Every Bit Counts Challenge. It's a challenge put on by Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead to preserve something every day in the month of August. So I tried really hard to be more prepared to do this challenge this year. Last year was my first time to do it, and I was a little overwhelmed at times. So I made sure that I made note of things that I needed to address so that I would be more prepared this year. One of the things that I needed to do was to be able to preserve more of my produce. So we enlarged our garden. We tilled 3 different beds to be able to plant more produce, more of specific plants that we knew that we would eat and want to preserve. That was a win. I am so glad we did that. If you want to see what some of the foods are that we harvested this summer, I'll leave a card to the playlist for my harvest videos. I couldn't believe how much we actually harvested. If you've never paid attention or weighed or counted or whatever your produce, you should do that because you might be getting more than you think. Another way that I prepared for this year was to make sure that the food I was preserving was definitely food we would eat. I preserved some things last year, kind of on a whim. I was fairly new to intense canning. I had done some canning, but nothing like that. So I was just looking for different recipes, different things to can, and some of the things we're not fans of. So this year, I tried to make sure that whatever I canned, it would be something my family would eat. Now, I did still have some challenges, things that I should have prepared beforehand that I didn't. So let me share those with you. Next year, I need to think ahead with these shelves because this was not a good plan. And now here I am with all of these boxes on this table. Some of them are double stacked, and I really don't know where I'm going to put them. And this is the larder where we keep our canned goods. But as you can see, I need to do some reorganizing and moving things around. Mark goes to Costco for me and he buys things and just shoves them wherever there's room instead of putting them where they need to be. So I need to address all of the placement of things here to make room for jars that are out there on the table. Over here, we have all of our onions and garlic and potatoes. And then I have more room here. So I need to readjust. Some of that stuff will come over here and we'll just have to see what happens. This is the other place I did not plan well enough. I have all of this frozen food this year. There's more down there. This is corn, zucchini, peppers, and upstairs I have all kinds of raspberries and mulberries and all kinds of stuff. I should have bought some baskets to have to organize this stuff in. So now I need to figure that out too. Well, I just showed you the things that I didn't plan well in advance. Now let me show you the things that, whether I plan it well or not, it's gonna happen. It's part of spending a month focusing on preservation. This room right here is what we call the Creamery. And we redid this room. It was the laundry room, still is, but we added more function to it so that we would have room to really work, kind of get around each other, be able to do the laundry and work on this countertop, have a place for appliances, all that good stuff. Let me show you what happens though during the month of August. The floor space is filled up. We have all the canners, and they're of course blocking all the shelves. So anytime I want something, I have to move the canners out of the way and reach in there and then scoot them all back again. I'm sure my daughter-in-law is getting tired of this because I know I am. But you know what? That's just part of it. And not only did I have the floor space taken up, but I had every surface that would hold a wet towel holding wet towels because I used so many between cleaning up messes, especially since I had helpers, and just sitting jars on them when I pulled them out of the canner and stuff like that. This is my desk area, which is fine. It's a little messy sometimes, but let me show you what happened next to my desk area. It kind of exploded into jars and lids, and actually this looks pretty good. It was even worse during the challenge. I had jars on both sides of the desk, and now I need to fill these jars. And this year I had some different challenges than last year because I have more people in my house than I did last year. So it was really tricky to figure out the timing of canning because I didn't want to hinder my daughter-in-law to be able to use the kitchen, and along with extra people meant I had some little hands that wanted to help me while I was processing. So there were some times that things took a little bit longer than they probably would have because I had so much help. Here are some of those times. I had some kind of messy situations come up also while I was doing the challenge this year. Something that I had never had happen before. I canned some, I call it soup base. It was a broth with chicken meat in it, and I did it for the amount of time that you would pressure canned meat. And when I set it out, I thought, oh, good, it looks great. And I was looking at it, and this is what happened. I don't like this. I have never seen that happen before. And thankfully, I didn't see it happen again. Even though I canned many pints of broth, I don't know why it did that. I'm wondering if it was too greasy and the lids just could not seal, and the heat and pressure inside the jar just had to get out. I ended up putting trays around it, kind of like walls, because I didn't want it to spew out on anybody that was just walking by, because they looked innocent, but they were not. So another messy situation I had when I was doing the zucchini squash, when I shredded it and I put it into little cup piles, I call them haystacks. I wanted to individually freeze them. So I put them in the freezer. I kind of propped the tray on top of the freezer, and I told Kaylee, my daughter-in-law, and my daughter Allison, because they were in the room, I said, hey, I just put a tray in the freezer that might not be real secure. So if you open the door, be careful. I failed to let Mark know that though. So soon I heard him gasp and I went to see what happened. And this is what I found. Luckily, they were semi-frozen so that it was pretty easy to clean up. And I was able to salvage all but 2 haystacks, I think. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But after canning all day and getting some different things preserved, I was ready to go to bed. I wasn't ready to clean up a zucchini mess. I will tell you though, no matter what the pre-planning is, no matter what the inconvenience of storage items is, no matter how much time it takes things to get done because of little hands, this is a challenge that I will continue to do every year. And along with it, I hope that I grow in my preservation skills, and I want to encourage you to do the same. You might have limited produce. That's okay. If you even go to a store and buy a few things, go ahead and preserve them, freeze them, dehydrate them. Or maybe you go to a food pantry and you know what? That's great too. I had a friend that I did some things for one year and she felt like she needed to bless me for helping her. So she had gone to a food pantry and brought me some potatoes and cabbages and just a lot of different things. I can't even remember them all right now. But I did not want that blessing to go to waste, but I knew that we wouldn't be able to use them right then. So I canned the potatoes and I made sauerkraut with the cabbage. There's always something that can be done with whatever it is that you get. So I want to encourage you, keep preserving. Don't waste that food. And if you can't figure out what to do with it, I'm sure you can find something in one of these Every Bit Counts Challenge videos. There are so many good ideas. Thanks a lot for coming along through this challenge month with me. I want to thank all of the new subscribers and all of the people who comment. And I just love hearing your comments. I love getting to know the people on the other side of the camera. You guys get to know about me, but I know very little about you. So be sure and comment. Share with us your preserving stories. What's your favorite way to preserve? Let's share and encourage each other so that we can be more prepared next year to do the Every Bit Counts Challenge in August of 2024. I'm excited already. I hope you are too. Until next time, blessings on you and yours.